Tonight, a mold infestation at Princess Margaret Hospital is confirmed. The health minister is on the record tonight. Also, straw vendors up in arms after having their licenses revoked. What led to the drastic measure? Coming up. And later, 2018, the record year for arrivals. More on the uptick in air passengers straight ahead. This is Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News brought to you by Flow Evo, powered by BTC. Flow Evo is here.
A mold infestation at the Princess Margaret Hospital is confirmed. Good evening, everyone. I'm Candino Knowles. Thanks for joining us. Off the top tonight, news of a mold infestation at the maternity ward of PMH went viral after a video on social media showed how showers at the facility were covered with fungus. Francesca Brown spoke with the health minister today. She tells us what the hospital is doing to remedy the situation.
Unacceptable. It's how Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands described mold growing in the showers of the maternity ward at the Princess Margaret Hospital. A video of the toxic fungus went viral on social media and also shows water pouring from the ceiling of the bathroom stalls. In an interview with Eyewitness News, Dr. Sands said a busted pipe caused the leak, allowing for the mold to grow. The problem, he said, has now been fixed. However, Dr. Sands admits the hospital is falling apart at the seams.
There are parts of the hospital, like I said, built in 1952, that has been painted and puttied as much as it could. And so our commitment is to create a brand new emergency room and maternal child wing during this term. Before you got here, we would have been looking at the establishment of a public-private partnership to fund that wing. Now, that is separate and apart from the necessary repairs that have to keep the existing facility going.
And that new maternity ward, according to Dr. Sands, will cost about $140 million.
The government of the Bahamas doesn't have $140 million sitting around. And so what we have to do is to look at leveraging relationships to be able to do necessary renovations.
There is an even greater issue at the facility. Sands says more babies are being born than the public ward can handle. But there is some good news. According to Dr. Sands, in the new maternity ward, family members will be allowed to witness the birth of their loved ones.
If you are delivering on the public ward, you don't have the option of having your husband or your partner or your family visit with you to share in this wonderful experience. And while that might have been acceptable in years gone by, it is certainly not acceptable in 2018. So we are going to change it. We are going to have to make a number of changes so that the birthing experience, which is so important for bonding, is consistent with best practices.
Dr. Sands says the new maternity ward will be constructed sometime in this F&M's term. Francesca Brown, Eyewitness News.
All right, well, one local company, Clear Solutions, telling Eyewitness News earlier today that the issue of mold is much worse than most people may think it is, as it is linked to a number of health deficiencies and can lead to or exacerbate more critical diseases. Joining me now is Director of Business Development for Clear Solutions, Charles Kemp. Mr. Kemp, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Candino. It's a pleasure being here.
All right, well, this issue of mold, obviously, as we're trying to dissect the issue, how big of an issue is this for us locally, at least?
Well, the thing with mold is actually everywhere. Mold is on surfaces, on trees, on the exterior of your house, it's on your furniture. And most people, when they see mold, they probably just take it lightly and figure it's no big deal, I just brush it off. But especially if there's a leak inside your house or something that's causing moisture, I always advise people take care of it right away. Because what we do, we figure that because the leak is gone now, that material may dry out, but I guarantee you right behind the surface of that, mold is actually growing. When we had the hurricane about a year ago, people today are still calling us today because of something they figured was gone and dried off, and now the mold is actually coming out inside their roof and the furniture, and it's growing everywhere. So mold is actually everywhere, Candino.
All right, but can you even get rid of it once
it's permeated your environment? I mean, once it's already in there, are you able to actually get it out?
Yeah, it's very possible to get rid of mold. A number of the treatments that we use actually get rid of mold very easily. Some cases you may have to remove some sheetrock or maybe move some of your furniture out of the house to get rid of it, but mold, you definitely get rid of mold. Now, I always advise people is that once we do our treatment, we take it out, you have to make sure now you do your part to make sure it doesn't come back. For example, mold actually could grow in sometimes in your AC unit. If you don't properly maintain your AC units, the mold will definitely grow. If you see a piece of sheetrock inside your house that looks like it has a little spots on it, don't take that lightly. Have somebody come and check it. It could be mold actually starting to grow in your house. So there is a possibility you could get rid of mold, mind you, but at the same time, you have to do your part by making sure it doesn't come back.
Well, I guess what should you be looking for to avoid possible exposure? I know we talked off camera about us being in a hurricane-prone region, and that being one of the leading factors in contributing to mold development in this region, yeah?
One of the first things that people normally look for is either black spots or brown spots growing in your ceiling, on your furniture, or like I said, sometimes even on parts of your kitchen counter, you may see some black spots. But at that point, it may not be that bad. When you start to actually smell mold inside your house and that it gives you that musty odor, then you know the mold is actually now what we call giving off spores. And once those spores get into the air, that's what actually gets into your lungs, get into your respiratory system and causes issues. Some people have runny eyes, itchy skins. It affects everybody differently because of their immune system.
All right, so obviously something that we should all be concerned about and actually trying to make sure we're not exposed to, right?
Exactly.
All right,
exactly.
Thanks a lot. Charles Kemp, the Director of Business Development for Clear Solutions. Thank you very much, Mr. Kemp. All right, well, the Organization for Responsible Governance is calling on government to move with haste in the tabling of the Fiscal Responsibility Bill ahead of its customary parliamentary summer recess. The organization spoke with our Theo Seeley about the importance of the bill, especially with the recent introduction of new taxes.
Executive Director of the Organization for Responsible Governance, Matt Aubrey, is hopeful that government will do the right thing, address the implementation of the Fiscal Responsibility Bill within the coming weeks. The bill will help to ensure that the country will be able to maintain financial buoyancy, keeping government transparent and accountable, especially as the Minnis administration works toward cutting down the country's multi-billion-dollar debt.
It puts limits and goals on what government spending is supposed to be. It maintains a level and pushes for a level of debt that's more reasonable and manageable. And it really looks at how it can draw all of government financing into a strategic effort that is not reactive but much more proactive.
The bill is also important because it engages the civil sector and the role it plays in governance.
It recognizes that the public has, not the public sector, but the civil society and the private industry, in that it recognizes that the public has a right to be a part of and understand what the government spending process is going to be, what the budgeting and financial planning components will be. We've been very excited to see that this legislation has been put forward by the Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Finance, and ongoingly we've had dialogue regarding that.
Aubrey confirmed that Finance Minister Peter Turnquest has gone on record to note that government will address updates to the bill and its implementation within the coming weeks.
We need to keep on this. We need to ensure pressure. We need to maintain that there's ongoing dialogue with government to make sure that it not only is passed, it's enacted, and it's ultimately put forward. Some of our recommendations ultimately translate down to ensuring that when government sets these goals, that there is a capacity that if they are breached, that they will be able to be brought back in line. There's a number of pieces in the law that talk about corrective action. It talks about the push that there will be recommendation towards some sort of financial penalty, but we feel like that needs to be even more specific, so it ensures that when things go off track, we know how to get it right back on track.
Theo Seeley, Eyewitness News.
Well, straw vendors are irate today following a 4-day notice to revoke their licenses if they fail to pay outstanding fees in full. The notice, which was placed on vendors' stalls since Monday, has now left over 200 vendors facing eviction. It's something the vice president of the Straw Market Association says is disturbing, considering the ministry knows the internal struggles. April Sands is following this for us.
We have 22 lights in the middle section. 22 lights in the middle section. Out of the 22, 18 of them are off and has been off for a long time. Someone said over a year.
That's the cry of straw vendors today, a dark, hot, and packed venue to work out of as they try to make ends meet. It's something vendors say they've already called Public Works Minister Desmond Bannister about, but according to them, the minister has yet to reach out.
200, the politicians are trying to obliterate the straw vendors. They are really trying to do away with this industry. They don't understand what they're doing. They're coming, vendors have, if a vendor owe $800, a vendor will say, I have $600. They don't want the $600. They say, bring it all in. You understand? That's when I say they are heartless. They don't have no concerns of vendors. They say they want our bills zero. I want to ask them, are their bills zero? Is the country bill zero?
Rent for one stall is $35 a week, and vendors claim it's too much because they're simply not making enough. It's something they insist the minister's fully aware of.
The tourism minister, this is his statistics, said that out of the, I think, 75% is cruise ship passengers. Only 12% of them spending monies. 12% of them are spending money in the whole Bahamas. So if this the minister's statistics, if 12% is spending, wouldn't that raise concerns when the vendors saying we don't really have it? If only 12%.
Since the notice to vacate was issued by the Straw Market Authority this week, over 200 vendors have been put out of business as they have not been able to pay their bills in full. And they're questioning the hard lines drawn in that threatening notice, which won't allow for any wiggle room for incremental payments.
And that dim environment makes for an unreasonable area for vendors to be able to sell their products, as they have to find their own means to light their own stalls.
Even when you foreclose on your house, I believe the bank just listened a little bit, man. Yeah. The Straw Authority dealing with straw vendors, having this approach and attitude, it's not right. It's not right. Pay or shut up. Pay up or shut up or get out. We have a problem with that because obviously the government appreciates, this is Bay Street, and we have a lot of Bay Street stores along the way. We have a lot of foreigners actually owning stores on Bay Street. These are Bahamians in this place.
Straw vendors are now asking that the Straw Market Authority regulation book be replaced and repealed as they feel it is in violation of their constitutional rights. April Sands, Eyewitness News.
All right, now calls to Public Works Minister Desmond Bannister went unanswered up to news time. Since the Ministry of Health put the public on alert for conch poisoning 2 weeks ago, Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands has confirmed that some 10 Bahamians have been poisoned. Initial reports suggested that the persons who were poisoned had been patrons of vendors at Potterski Dock. Well, since then, reports reaching our news desk indicate that there were also a number of cases where individuals may have been poisoned at private functions. We spoke with 2 vendors at Potterski Dock, and they say that the alert has definitely affected their bottom line.
Yes, there was a slight difference. The sales went down a bit, but I think eventually it'll get back to normal.
Yes, it does tremendously. It affected business. The sales we have would be hot. We don't have any more, because when the word like that get out that conch is poison, people get a little skeptical on eating conch. So that was a major factor here on Potterski Dock.
All right, both Edward McPhee and Dwayne Bastian confirmed that even their busiest days on the dock are now basically dried up.
The busiest days we have mostly is on the weekends, Fridays, sometimes Saturdays, holidays.
And so over the holiday period and over the weekend, you experience a dip?
Yes, it was a deficit in sales.
The busiest days for me basically is Mondays and Friday, and Friday is like it's dead right now. It's nothing much happening, here on Potterski Dock.
All right, we are just getting started in Eyewitness News, but when we come back, over 40 Dominican poachers get their day in court. More from the proceedings coming up. And later, airport officials reporting record arrivals at the main gateway. Find out what's caused the spur in numbers. We've got the latest on this, but first, here's a check on tonight's weather forecast. Well, there goes your live look over Saunders Beach, where the temperature is right around 84 degrees with an expected dip tonight to about 78. This is Eyewitness News. Welcome back. 3 men are in police custody tonight in connection with an early morning shooting that has left 1 man dead and another nursing a gunshot wound. Police tell us that it was shortly after 2 o'clock this morning when the man was walking on the eastern side of Blue Hill Road near the clinic when he saw a man being chased by a group of men. Police say the suspects shot both men before fleeing. One of the victims died on the scene. The other was taken to hospital, where, as we said, he was treated and discharged. The murder count now stands at 57 for the year. Meantime, the man who was killed on Homestead Street this past Sunday has been identified as Shenandoah Neely. Police tell us the 30-year-old was a resident of Charles Saunders Highway. Details of Neely's shooting are still sketchy as police report he was shot around 3 p.m. on the day in question and later died in hospital. Investigations are said to be ongoing. And a robbery at a South house this morning is under active investigations. Police tell us it was shortly before 11 when an armed man entered the restaurant on Carmichael Road and robbed the establishment of cash before running away. If you have any information that can help police with this incident, you are asked to contact them at 919 or 328-8477. Meantime, 46 Dominican fishermen have been charged with poaching in Bahamian waters less than a week after they were caught. The Dominican nationals all appeared before Magistrate Cara Turnquest on Thursday and had to answer charges of illegal foreign fishing, possession of a grouper less than 3 pounds, possession of fresh crawfish during the closed season, possession of undersized crawfish, as well as prohibited apparatus and engaging in illegal foreign fishing within the exclusive fishery zone. Mr. Radhams Hernandez, the boat captain, was also charged with possession of an unlicensed shotgun and possession of ammunition. The men all pleaded not guilty to all of the charges and have been sent to the Bahamas Department of Corrections, where they will await their trial on October 22nd. Well, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources issuing a statement today addressing a voice note currently making the rounds on social media related to fishing in Bahamian waters, which claims that there are foreign entities that have made threats against the lives of Bahamians, specifically fishermen, with the speaker purportedly indicating that there are links to Al-Qaeda. The statement from the ministry reads that the Bahamas takes seriously all threats on the lives of Bahamian citizens and their livelihood, and that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has alerted the relevant authorities locally and internationally and is working with all concerned to address the alleged threats against Bahamian nationals. The ministry is urging Bahamians, particularly fishermen, to be cautious in their daily routine and to report immediately to authorities any suspicious activity. We've got the full statement on our website at ewnews.com. Well, 2018 has been a record-breaking year for the tourism industry as operators of the country's main gateway are reporting arrivals in the thousands. And airport officials say they have the hotel industry to thank for it. April Sands has this.
Multi-million-dollar advertisements spread across the screens of televisions worldwide for the mega family resort Atlantis and now our country's newest billion-dollar investment, Baha Mar. Nassau Airport Development Company's Vice President Jan Knowles is calling the major resort's market reach the reason for groundbreaking numbers in the country's airport arrivals.
We have seen record passenger numbers each month, all the way up to our June numbers.
This week, Knowles revealed that for the month of March alone, there were over 183,000 passengers arrivals into the Sir Lyndon Pindling International Airport.
Now, we count departures, so you have to times that by 2, because, of course, the nature of our business is if a passenger arrives, they typically leave. You know, we're a tourism airport, built for tourism, but we are seeing a lot of local travel as well.
Knowles says while the uptick in hotel competition is the main reason for their astronomical numbers, cold weather continues to push passengers from the north to our islands. It's why renovations are key. There were 3 Alive kiosks recently placed throughout the airport's terminal, while Atlantis has put in a kiddie corner, which keeps them busy while parents book day passes for the mega resort's aquarium or its water slides. But that's not all on the airport's amenity list. Soon to come is the airport's own hotel. And who's complaining? Certainly not tourists. April Sands, Eyewitness News.
Local gospel artist Tamika Taylor is branching out into publishing as she's authored her first tell-all book about her struggles as a young Christian woman. It's called My Heart Matters. The stories in the book are ones she told our intern Janelle Longley she hopes will help inspire others on their walk with Christ. Take a look.
The Bahamas is filled with many gifted individuals that tend to keep their talents swept under the rug. But local gospel artist and new author Tamika Taylor was not one to follow suit. Taylor is the author of a new book, My Heart Matters, which is geared towards believers and improving their relationship with God.
This book is for the individual who is seeking a deeper relationship with the Lord and to not look at that relationship as something superficial.
Taylor is no stranger to the spotlight, as her gift of singing had been recognized from a young age and has paved the way for other gifts like writing, teaching, and operating her new company, Taylor Made Productions.
So Taylor Made Productions is a combination of all of these: music, teaching, empowering young people, not just young people, children, young adults, and adults. And so we use all of our gifts to mentor, to encourage, to inspire, and to empower others.
Taylor's husband, Trevante, recognized the creative abilities of his wife and encouraged her to write the book, as he felt that her experience would help others, and even spoke about 3 things he got from the book himself.
This book really did 3 things for me. Number 1, it drew me closer to God. Number 2, it caused me to understand me a little bit more. I think sometimes we as humans, we as individuals, we live life and we don't realize that sometimes on the inside things can be going on and we don't even realize it. And 3, with others. This just totally blew my mind.
The gifted artist is looking forward to the official release of the book this Saturday at the Bookcase on Carib Road between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. Janelle Longley, Eyewitness News.
All right, coming up in tonight's BTC Connection, Independence Day may have come and gone, but some patriotic Bahamians are still in celebration mode. Meet them all coming up. And coming up in sports, Randy Smith is off the top with the latest. Randy?
Candino, we have the latest on Team Bahamas' makeup ahead of the upcoming CAC Games. Find out more in Eyewitness Sports. Good evening, everyone. I'm Randy Smith, and welcome to Eyewitness Sports. Hope you enjoyed your Friday. We begin tonight with the CAC Games. Yesterday, Bahamas Olympic Committee President Romel Knowles named the team that will represent the country at the Games. This year's squad will be the largest ever, comprising of 84 athletes across 9 disciplines, including swimming, sailing, tennis, judo, fencing, boxing, basketball, track and field, and softball. We'll have more on each team coming over the next few days. The games are set for July 19th through August 13th. Well, just 2 athletes competed for Team Bahamas yesterday as the IAAF Under-20 Championships continued in Tampere, Finland. Sasha Wells was 4th overall in the 100-meter hurdles in 14.03 seconds. Kayvon Stubbs was 5th in her heat of the 224.61 seconds. Also, the boys 4x1 relay team took to the track and finished 5th overall in Heat 3 in 40.85 seconds. Keeping on the track and field, Beachane Miller-Weibo competes tonight in the women's 200 as the IAAF Diamond League continues in Morocco. Miller-Weibo comes in as the favorite in the race, followed by Blessing Okbar from Nigeria, who clocked a personal best of 22.04 seconds earlier this season. In basketball news, DeAndre Ayton had his worst game of the NBA Summer League last night as the Phoenix Suns lost 88-86 to the Philly 76ers. Ayton had 10 points on 4 of 10 shooting from the field. And at the grassroots level, Kai Jones continues to garner interest from Division I schools. Jones had 18 points and 7 rebounds to lead Team Breakdown to a win over Team Felton at Atlanta, Georgia on Wednesday in the Under Armour Challenge. Following the game, Jones received an offer from Syracuse University, and so far he's also gotten offers from Ole Miss, Arizona, Georgetown, Louisville, Miami, Rhode Island, South Florida, Texas, Vanderbilt, Virginia Commonwealth, and Florida Gulf Coast. Well, that does it for us in sports, but stay tuned. Eyewitness News continues in a moment. I'm Randy Smith. Have a great evening.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Well, Independence Day may have come and gone, but many proud Bahamians are still celebrating. In this edition of BTC Connection, meet some of them who were unafraid to show their love for country.
Every island and every key. Keep in touch with everybody. It's BTC every day.
Here we are, Independence Week. What a great time for our country. And here's the way that our citizens feel about turning 45.
Independence, to me, is indigenous of what is sovereign. And so sovereignty is what independence really is. And so in that spirit, all Bahamians should look forward to Independence Day, celebrating it, but not forgetting the actual reason and why it exists.
Tell me, what is it about independence that you love?
Bringing people together, just the culture, showing a lot of pride, and you know, showing your true colors, man. That's what it is. Everyone together, one nation, and that's how it is.
So as a country, governing ourselves, you know, now approaching, 50 years old, it's significant, and it's something that every Bahamian should be proud of.
I guess my favorite thing about independence is the independence junk and news. BTC every day.
Happy Independence, Bahamas. BTC every day.
So here's my favorite thing about independence, that all 45 of these years, you have stayed with BTC. Happy Independence, Bahamas. I'm Corval Piper, and we'll see you next BTC Connection.
Every island and every key. Keep in touch with everybody. It's BTC every day.
All right, well, coming up and beyond the headlines with Clint Watson, he continues his series on education. Tonight, his guests are called Star Students. Find out why they carry that title and their claim to fame. That's coming up and beyond the headlines. It starts right after this. That does it for us in Eyewitness News. It's been a pleasure having you in our company tonight and all this week. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Dindino Knowles saying good night.
This is Personique Role from Island News Network, where we're always in the know. We're investigating Island Game, and what we want to know is how they doing what they doing. Now, the news on the street is that there are 13 Percy pension plans worth $250,000 up for grabs, where you get paid $1,000 every week for a year. Nah, I got my man on the ground to find out how true this is. Hey, we live.
Yeah, I was just checking on something.
How Island Game doing what they doing?
And listen, now this ain't no fake news. The Island Game have 13 different pension plans. 13! All you gotta do is put $20 on your verified Island Game account.
Can you confirm this information?
See it right there?
There you go. There's a story here, and now you're in the know.
The most important person in my life is my mom, because she helped me up when I am down, and she says with God help, the sky is the limit. Peace and quiet is what I like most about being in Over the Hill. I am Over the Hill.
Am I your leader?
Yes, you are.
God save the Queen.
God
save the Queen, my Negro brother. These are big, black, stupid men. What is wrong with me saying that? Booyaka. So I may have to go into another trance. Give me some drums. Hungaya. Hungayaya.
Hi, Miss Wonka.
Hey, is this the baby there?
Yeah.